Hello and welcome everyone. We are starting our RDE Meetup. We already discussed topics that we will be touching today. First three that we will start with, another one about LLMs that we slightly touch, and after that we will continue with RDE related topics about features, local mail server, and installation experience. The first topic, the introduction for the first topic will be done by Grigory, who is currently maintaining Wayland SCM fork, and he did quite a good progress in recent months, so he will share it with us. Let's go, Grigory.
Okay, so I'll try to be as quick as possible. Wayland SCM is Wayland scheme bindings for client bindings for Wayland. And this library was created not by me, by another person, and it was designed to be multi-scheme, like Chicken and Gochi and Guile compatible. And he did about 80% of work, and then he removed his account from Codeberg. So I had to pick it up. He didn't use gigs. He seemed to use Gentoo. I some gigs. I like made a few last corrections, and it just works. I didn't. I used some complicated examples with it. Well, I think they are complicated, and it didn't like zigzag. It didn't doing tricks yet, at least. So I practiced. When I thought I tested enough. I know it's not a good testing. It's just like hand testing, basically by hand. There's no test, and test as the next big like task for me. But I suggested it into the gigs at the time how it was like as it was at the time, and it was recently merged by a gixer named Dame, Daym, who is pretty like cool hardcore guy, and he also did and then the original after he returned to Codeberg, he wrote me, he said thank you. He now has another username, and he also suggested some few improvements. I merged his merge requests. I tested and merged Dame's merge requests. So there's like already three people working on it, so to say. And you can use Wayland from Guile from Unreapple easily. And I will continue. I'm continue working on it. I will add tests. There is no disconnect procedure for now, and that's a huge problem. Like you can only connect to Wayland server. You can't disconnect from it. Yeah, I will do the disconnect soon, and that's yeah. And recently I hugely improved the documentation. I moved it all to Taxi, text info format, and well, that's the message basically.
Cool. Cool, quite good update. So now we have a working version of the library that missing only disconnect feature, that have better documentation and
That,
packaged for
that
gigs.
I will also focus on them soon.
And in nearest future we will have tests for them. Very good. How far we are from a Wayland compositor written in Guile?
Well, it's not actually my. There is something like this already. I mean, maybe I'm not DVM or GuideM, isn't it? I'm not familiar.
I
Well, my point, I basically yes. Sorry, please tell.
Yeah, there are like a few extensions to existing window managers, which allows to access APIs via Guile, but there is no Guile native window managers as far as I know at the moment, at least working one.
Well, Guile window manager is not my goal.
Okay.
So I don't know how far are we from it. It's client bindings, as I said, not server. But anyway, it's like something that already works. It's much easier to change the code and see if it still works. Like counter example to something that didn't work at the first time. So you can take it as a base and expand to separate servers, I guess.
Actually, I'm dreaming
Not
about.
you exactly. Yeah.
Uh, I'm dreaming about Guile Wayland compositor for quite some time, but still have to use Rust OC based window managers for my primary part of the day. But I hope with the development of Guile ecosystem, we will have Wayland compositors soon. Would be cool to have, and they probably would integrate better in RDE and Geeks, and will be easier to do, interactive development with RS array and stuff. All that dynamic
Yeah. Excuse me.
REPL
I
experience.
just remember it's important. The original author, he decided to continue his Wayland Guile experiments on his own, also
Mm-hmm.
in his new account. And he said he had something like approximately something like this. He's building something like this, or he had some examples, if I remember correctly. But he's doing some alpha stuff that he don't want to support. He just want to throw it out, and if somebody picks up, great. Yeah, so maybe you can check his page. He did something like this.
Okay, I will check out his account and we'll see how it goes. Hope we'll have some time to experiment with it and maybe we will make some streams trying it out. Okay, any other thoughts and comments on the topic? Okay, seems we finished. Thank you very much, Grigory, for leading this conversation. Let's talk about array arrays. This is more of my area of responsibility, mostly. And the topic called array arrays outside of Emacs. For people who are not familiar, it's Guile IDE based on an REPL protocol consisting of two parts. The backend part written in Guile that you can run as a separate process, or you can use as a library inside other process. For example, inside Shepherd, and start an REPL server inside Shepherd and access it from, for example, Emacs, and evaluate new forms, new service definitions through this NREPL protocol. And front-end part, Array is Emacs Lisp implementation of NREPL client, which targeted to be used with arrays. The issue, the current issue in Guile ecosystem that I personally see, and a lot of people also mention it, and it was discussed on Geeks Days and FOSDEM a lot. It was even a talk on FOSDEM about Guile usage outside of Emacs. The issue is that to use Geeks, you have to know Emacs, or you have to learn Emacs to be like efficient with coding Guile projects. And without it, it's quite hard. Recently, a new option appeared is different CLI tools for LLMs, which allows to do some Guile coding without actually having a good Guile tooling. But overall, if you don't have Emacs, you're kinda out of luck. And I'm curious about other people experience. Ro, do you use Emacs, or you came with different background?
Well, I have a background with the Vim mainly, but I've been using Emacs for the last few years, and I haven't looked back.
Okay. So unfortunately, today we probably have most of the people using Emacs. So we don't have Vim users or VS Code users. But as far as I know, there are like quite a few people in Geeks community who use Vim for their daily life, and some people use VS Code. And according to some surveys, VS Code is quite popular option in like general population of developers, and we would like to make Geeks more accessible. And I think if we provide some extension for VS Code and Vim to work with Guile, it will be a huge enabler and will make much more people having an opportunity to enjoy gigs. And one thing that happened during FOSDEM, Ilya sent me a video of how he using Guile inside Vim. He used Conjure plugin for NeoVim and connected to Ares backend. So he used nREPL protocol implementation in Conjure. This nREPL protocol implementation is supposed to be used for Clojure development, but he just removed all Clojure related checks and used it with Ares, and already had a basic functionality working, like evaluation and stuff. But of course, it's not the perfect experience. I'm not sure how well is identation, because on FOSDEM, there was a talk where person was trying to implement identation rules for Guile, and they need to parse the Guile code and like calculate all the identations according to rules and do all that stuff. So it's another part. It's not even about REPL integration and deep interactive workflows. It's just a basics which doesn't work in VS Code, unfortunately. And there's other editors, for example, Z or Labs, recent Rust-based text editor, which looks quite promising and have extensions in Wasm. So a few thoughts that I have on this topic. The first one, we already have Ares backend, so we just need only an REPL frontend for other text editors. Like, of course, it's quite a lot of work, but it's possible. And we already have Conjure, which can, I think, relatively easy adapt the code base to support Guile via nREPL. Also, there's a Calvo project for VS Code, which is full-blown development environment for Clojure, which uses nREPL protocol, and it can be potentially forked to use with Guile. And alternative is to use Guile Hood to write a Wasm extension for VS Code, because it would be cool to write extension for Scheme in Scheme itself. And another cool thing that Labs text editor, the one I recently discovered, is also has Wasm extensions. And in addition to that, as far as I know, Vim and Labs and probably VS Code as well have a good three-seater support. And three-seater allows for incremental parsing of the text, so it can have a better highlighting, a better structural navigation, and like manipulation of the pieces of code. So three-seater and then REPL extension can solve most of the problems. So the overall thought that the next step towards a better accessibility to Guile and Geeks we'll be implementing three-seater grammar for Guile and integrating it with different text editors. And later, starting to work on REPL clients for them. Okay, that was a bit long and hope not too boring. And I think I'm finished. Any thoughts and comments? I'm really glad to hear them.
So for me, I've just been using just standard Guile in REPL. That works pretty well, but I'm very interested to check out Arei and see how that goes with Emacs.
You said that you use hello Oleg, welcome. Rua, you said you use just a usual Guile REPL for your experiments and development.
Yeah, yeah, and it's certainly lacking. I understand why you've been working on Arei quite a bit. I haven't actually experimented with Arei yet, so that's a new stage for me. So I'm very keen to check it out.
Okay, for people who are watching this talk later in the recording, I would be glad to hear your feedback on what text editors or environments you use, especially if they're different from Emacs, so you can share your experience and we can discuss the further steps of improving the situation with Guile development outside of Emacs. I think it can be even a separate topic and discussion for the future. Okay, any other comments, thoughts, and ideas on this one? Let's quickly talk about the next topic, about new internship. Unfortunately, Nicholas and Noe is not here, but last year we did a quite successful internship and we implemented full-blown stack trace viewer, which is really handy for debugging Guile code, and I use it almost daily. And on top of it, we started the implementation of debugger for Guile, and we have a proof of concept, which is quite impressive. So I can say that we had very successful internship experience. I hope Noe learned quite a lot of stuff, and we got a very handy and useful tool for Arei. And I would like to repeat this experience and had another intern, maybe for this year or the next year, and to work on some projects that are important for the community. And if you have ideas of the projects that can be important for the community, please let me know. I have a few one written here for the previous internship, but most of them still relevant. Any missing projects that you would like to propose for RDE internship? Okay, so I will give a brief recap of some of them. Of course, it's VS Code extension for Guile IDE. Maybe it will take a bit more time than 2-3 months, but POC can be done quite quickly. Jupyter protocol, not sure how it needed, and probably it's misspelled or not. no, not misspelled. Hood integration for Guile IDE. It's probably much more time, and I hope I will work on it. If I get an LNet grant, I will work on it myself. Will be intern of RDE myself. Transitive package managers, we talked about it a bit on the streams, but basically the idea is that you have a log file and you can generate in runtime the packages for a particular project or the whole development environment for particular projects. Array gigs EL is similar to gigs EL package, which allows to search packages, to install packages, do some other fancy stuff. But instead of using Geyser, it could use an REPL, so we can easily utilize all the power of an REPL and make a bit more robust package for interacting with gigs. And three more important projects that I feel missing from the community is schemas specification library, similar to Clojure spec or Mali, but for Guile instead of Clojure. Three-seater bindings for all kind of stuff, for Guile scheme itself, for org mode, for Markdown, because current common mark is quite suboptimal, I would say. And like we need three-seater for Guile itself to integrate it with Emacs and maybe other text editors. And another missing piece that I remember and I face quite often is external process management library for running process in the background, in separate thread, or processing the std out, stdr, and all that stuff. So there are a few project ideas, and if you are interested in any of them and you would like to participate in the internship, let me know. Write to RDE mailing list or to my personal email. Okay, I hope not much to discuss here. Let's go to more heated topics that was discussed a few times today already. LLMs usage for gigs, RDE, and or inside Emacs. I will share briefly my experience with it. I was pitched a few weeks ago about Claude Code, and person who showed me asked about tasks that I have at hand to try to delegate it to Claude. And I decided to just redo my previous troubleshooting session, but instead of myself did it using Claude Code. And I just asked to revert the last commit in Ares repository, and Claude Code solved the issue in a few minutes. So I spent like half an hour or maybe an hour troubleshooting the problem. Claude Code did the same fix in like a few minutes and produced exactly the same snippet of code, which was quite impressive. And right now I find a lot of use cases where Claude saves quite a lot of time, and more importantly, quite a lot of mental energy for troubleshooting or doing boring tasks and stuff. So what is your experience? Maybe some issues that you have or some questions?
I tried to set up MCP, Emacs MCP library, I mean package, I don't know, recently. And I failed just on file system for some reason neither Golang nor official NPM file system server, MCP file system server would throw some strange errors, something like UTF-8 encoding, blah blah blah. And I just wanted to say if somebody integrated MCPs into Emacs, because I would like probably everybody on this call to have one place to manage them all.
As far as I know, there's Claude Code extension. There are two of them, Emacs Claude Code and Emacs Claude Code IDE. And the first one, which is, let's just search Claude package for gigs. Claude Code, tatam, Emacs Claude Code. I guess this one. This one is based. Is based on Claude Code MCP, I guess, and it's already provides some tooling like open file, interact with buffer, diff, run command, and do all other stuff. So you may want to look into it and provide this MCP server to your LLM of choice. Just an idea. And there's another, I guess, provider agnostic plugin, but I don't remember how it called. It also provides MCP for Emacs. MCP Emacs.
It's probably MCP hub, yeah. Or maybe.
It seems it's MCP client. MCP server lib. Okay, anyway, one of the ideas is to use MCP server inside Emacs. Because in addition to access to the file system, you will also have an access to your buffers and diffs and all that stuff. I didn't set up much MCPs yet. I didn't set up any of them actually. I did a few MCP servers back in the days, like probably a year ago or something. But recently I used just Claude Code IDE, Claude Code IDE EL extension, which just a simple wrapper around vterm and a bit of integration with Emacs. But what I basically use, I use Claude Code inside vterm, and it's aware of my current buffer context and the current selection context. And also it uses ediff for asking for diff changes. So I don't have much more integration with my operating system at the moment. So probably I will share more experience later when I get deeper into this topic.
Andrew, just a quick question around that. Are you using that in a separate shell environment?
Do you mean I run Claude Code in isolated container or not?
Yeah.
Right now, I do experimentation on my system directly, but there's LLM gigs channel I guess it's called, let me search it here, Geeks LLMs. This is a channel by Colin, which contains a few packages like Cloud Code and probably Codex and something else. And he have a README in which he demonstrates how to run them inside container and how to expose all necessary environment variables and directories to them so they can work.
Okay. So that'd be more secure.
Yeah, that's probably a better option. For now, I like let it do the stuff it does with my visual control over it, but no system isolation so far. But of course, the proper way is doing through Geeks shell containers. Container network, blah, blah, blah.
So does it still have, there's no problem with full functionality and accessibility and everything running it within a containment?
What do you mean?
Like it's still able to fully function within a contained shell,
Yeah,
as opposed to directly on the machine. Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
and if you need to give it a bit more access, for example, not only to GNU store, but to your current project folder or whatever, you can expose it either using a flag inside container or using MCP. So there are like a few options.
Yeah, cool. That's great. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Any other thoughts and stuff? Okay, so a couple words from me. I'm quite, conservative and skeptical in the terms of LLMs and this all AI hype and stuff. But I have to admit that they become quite reasonable. The models are quite sane and they do work sometimes quicker and more or with better quality than me myself. Of course, it's only, simple work at the moment that doesn't require too much understanding and, architectural thinking. But still, it does a lot of engineering tasks like troubleshooting, summarizing, exploring code base, understanding how things are wired together quite well, and writing the relatively good quality code. So if you have a guidance over it, it can really speed up the tasks that you wouldn't like to do yourself. So I would say I can recommend to try out something like OpenCode or maybe Cloud Code. They already work quite well. Okay, let's go to the next topic about RDE most wanted features and improvements. I have a few of them. For example, recently implemented features. I finished just yesterday and today probably. Right now, it's addition to agenda. There are like a few functions which allows to do two things with agenda. First one is highlighting entries which have body inside, which contains links or some additional information that I may be interested in. So when I have a task, I can look into it and like explore further the content. And also the number of reschedules with R colon prefix and the number of reschedules, so I can understand that I rescheduled task a few times already, and probably I need to put it into backlog and later delete if I don't like schedule it to a proper date. And you can see if I reschedule the task more than 9 times, it has like infinite number of reschedules here. So I can definitely see that this task probably should be removed. Those two things that I was missing for quite a while, and thanks to LLMs, I was able to find time and desire to work on them, and finished them like in a few hours without much problems. Pretty happy with it. Small but important life improvements for me personally. What else people missing in RDE would be glad to hear.
I would like say it another. Well, for me, RDE is not something that should be bloated as hell, but as like something that should be super small, but you should be able to define your own features like easily. I don't know. It's not something that's. It's a way of life. It's not something you want to put more and more and more stuff into. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree with that.
that's very true. That's the way we try to keep RD. So it provides, almost vanilla configuration for Emacs, almost vanilla configuration for window manager, but with a bit tweaked and saner defaults than it out of the box. Okay, so there's no missing features in RDE, it seems.
I said that like the what I don't like it's much locked into your behavior like with Sway and Emacs. I had to rewrite some features, basically just copy paste them and then just to change like maybe one or three lines.
Mhm.
I had to paste them into my setup because I use GNOME. I would focus otherwise not to put more stuff into, but to how to make this part more composable like Legos or something.
This is a very good point, and I actually wanted to discuss this topic on Geeks Days, but I didn't find the time to start the discussion. Um the idea is that Geeks Services has a graph, and this graph consists of nodes, and each node can extend uh, its parent, I would say, or a few parents. And after that, everything is traversed, and the final value is calculated. The problem is that node have no awareness. It does know nothing about surrounding. It doesn't know about your color scheme. Your shell or your terminal doesn't know about your color scheme. Your browser don't know which shell you use, and so on and so forth. But sometimes it's important to know about other features that are present in your configuration. That's why actually the features mechanism appeared in the first place. It built on top of Gig services, but also it have a shared storage of values that can be reused among the features. It works to some degree. It makes the behavior more polymorphic, more composable and extendable. And the way we implement services is also more extendable and composable. However, it's not always the case because it's not always possible to implement proper, extension and integration of different features between each other, so they're like composable and flexible. And it's fundamental problem of underlying mechanism of gig services. And there's an idea that we can provide a different operating system and home environment configuration approach. And this configuration approach can be based on propagation networks. If you follow Dave Thompson's work, FRP FRP propagation networks. He have a blog post about functional reactive programming and propagation networks, and he demonstrates a simple example with sliders where you can have a color represented as RGB and HSV, and you can like select any of the values, and the corresponding value in RGB representation will be updated. And it's done with propagator networks. The same way, we can implement the definition of our operating system, where you change your color scheme, and your browser configuration get updated, and your terminal configuration get updated like according to your new color scheme. And this way you will have a smaller, more flexible, customizable block, and you can update any of them, but they still can affect the other blocks in the whole graph of your operating systems. It requires some time and probably some research and reading of papers and PhDs, but it's very possible. I just need to get some time for that. There are a few projects like which are a bit higher on the priority list at the moment, but it's still very important stuff that I keep thinking about, and I hope to get to it in some nearest future in a few months. So we will have a better configuration approach, even better than the current RDE features.
Well, that sounds really cool. This especially relevant to me because I've been, as I said earlier, I've been messing with, the different color schemes on Waybar and Emacs and all of that. If it was integrated, would be pretty cool. And that would just be colors, but other things as well, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Some parts of RDE is actually almost hard-coded because I didn't have time to implement it in the most flexible and composable way. And also, in some cases, it's technically impossible with current features mechanism to make it really composable and flexible. That's why, yeah, I don't polish all the features to the perfect degree. It's already in a good state, but definitely not perfect. And I don't polish them further because I anticipate that in some foreseeable future we will migrate to the better approach of managing operating systems and home environments. Okay. Any thoughts on this topic? I guess RDE is almost complete. Just need to rework our configuration mechanism, and it will be the most advanced operating system currently existing. Okay, another feature that
it already is. It already is in my experience.
Okay, thank you.
It's second after Temple OS.
To be fair. Yeah. We need to be like fair here. That's true. Local mail server feature. I already mentioned it at the beginning when we were discussing topics. This is a feature that I personally miss because I use emails and use them relatively heavy. The thing that I miss that my workflow is not completely offline. Overall, the idea of offline and local first workflows is appealing because you don't depend on the internet connection, you don't depend on the quality of internet connection, you don't depend on external services, you don't depend on this whole huge infrastructure. You can have your local machine and do all the work here. And I guess creating more local first tools and more offline friendly tools is a good thing. And one of them is emails. They are almost offline first tools because you can download via IMAP all the emails to your local machine and have them here. And after that, when you decide to send some messages, you connect to internet and send them via SMTP to the remote server. However, actually, you can have your local mail server and send the messages to the local web server. And when you get to the civilization and have internet connection, they will be sent to a remote mail server. So this is, it seems like a small step, but it will allow to do like a complete mailing workflow locally. Not only searching through the downloaded emails and processing patches or doing some other work, but also sending the replies. They will be delayed until you connect to the internet, but you will be completely offline doing all the work and just getting to the internet to complete the sending. That's the basic idea of the features of the feature.
Sounds very good. It's timely. I've just been working on setting up email on RDE just today, actually.
Can you repeat one more time, please? I missed some part of your last sentence.
I was just saying I'm very sounds like a very good feature to have, and the timing is good. I've just started to work on setting up email on RDE today. Can you?
Yeah. One of the most frequent feedback on RDE that I usually get that it makes setup of emails so simple that it feels like unreal, because usually to set up the email you need MSMTP, you need async, you need configuration for all of them, you need to store credentials somewhere, and all those steps, and the configuration repeat some parts here and there, and they need to integrate with each other, and also configuration for Emacs, for not much, for other things. And in RD, you just set up your login names and the way to obtain the password, and you're ready to go. So yeah, probably strengthening the set of email features will make mailing workflow with RD complete.
Yeah, cool, very cool.
My mail setup for like 4 or 5. I thought Dan want to do this, and RDE. Thanks a lot.
Sorry, Grigory. Unfortunately, my internet probably got disconnected a bit. Can you repeat, please, your
Yeah, I
last?
said I postponed the email setup on my working machines for about 5 years. I thought I need to do this to receive patches, even when Geeks was not on Codeberg yet, to send patches, but it's so complicated, I don't want to, and I did it in 10 minutes.
Okay,
Cool.
I think it's impressive, like to get working mailing setup with all the necessary tooling in 10 minutes. We achieved quite a lot here. Okay. Another topic. We have 10 minutes left for our meetup. Let's briefly discuss the struggles with first-time experience with RDE and step-by-step installation of RDE. And we'll wrap up today meetup, I guess. Ro, I would like to give you a word and share your experience. And after that, we discuss how we can improve it.
Okay, so yeah, so I can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So I've as I said earlier, I've come from I've been using Geeks for probably about 5 or 6 years, and of course the setup with Geeks is takes a little bit of working out, but it's relatively simple. And over the last few years since I discovered your work with RDE, it's been a bit of a struggle to the live image is very good, but every time I went to actually install it on a machine, well, the machines that I've attempted to install them on have had NVIDIA issues and that sort of thing as well, just to sort of complicate things. But it took me a while to figure out the whole process of installing RDE, which is, it's a bit different from anything else that I've installed. So it would be good to have a just for new people coming to RDE to be able to have an easier install experience, and maybe some help with a video, step by step, which you've already done, but I found them a little bit lacking in detail. So yeah, I mean, it's such a wonderful system to have up and running that it's a shame not to be able to install it more easily from the beginning.
Okay, I'm writing some notes so we can act upon them later. One of the reasons I don't put too much effort.
So yeah, just I've actually been looking at doing that myself, and just putting a YouTube clip up, because I'm just, I've just recently been able to install RDE, so I thought I could contribute in that way just by going through the easiest install that I've managed to come up with, including things like NVIDIA issues and that. But I've also had quite a lot of help from Claude, so that's really been good. That's probably, I guess, as a new user of RDE, it's yeah, it would be helpful to have some assistance there.
Okay, thank you very much for very extensive experience report. Very valuable. I already started to talk with you with muted microphone. But now I unmuted it and I hope you can hear me. So what
Yep, all good.
I came up with that it would be cool to have blog posts and articles on RDE and some installation experience with some specific setups with NVIDIA cards and maybe some other stuff. It seems that LLMs are already quite helpful with providing information and explaining how things works. And one of the options is to download RDE repository locally and ask LLM to create new configuration or to update current configuration or to help in explanation of how it works and how to set up it. And maybe after understanding, creating blog posts and experience report, which could be also helpful. Videos and tutorials can be really helpful as well. One of the reasons why I don't spend too much time on making content like blog posts and videos about RD is that my idea that I would like to have a different configuration mechanism, different from RD features and gigs services. And that's why I don't want to contribute too much time into, developing documentation for RD in its current state. I don't know if it's a good tactics or not, but this is how I feel at the moment. But I would really appreciate any help with the content and with experience reports. Even just a small message to mailing list is already helpful, so people can find it and understand how to do things. If you are able to make a blog post or a video, it would be like twice or maybe tens as helpful and cool for the project and for people who use it. I'm not only about Rua, you. I'm like in general for people who are watching.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, I'm sort of documenting as I go along here, so it would just initially it would just be just sort of self-instruction really, making notes of what I've learned and the best way to install. And I may video that when I have a sort of the best the best experience that I can have installing from scratch. I mean, even just setting up hard drives and Btrfs, encrypted drives and all of that, to have that whole step-by-step journey, I'm looking at, documenting and videoing that. So, yeah, we'll see how I go with that.
There are a couple more things that we can do. The RDE release and new live ISOs. We didn't have a release for quite some time because we didn't have like any noticeable changes to the way how RDE works. So it's just basically updates of the features and packages and all that stuff. But probably it's already time to make a next RDE release because we accumulated a lot of new stuff here and previous ISOs quite outdated already. And updating manual, actualizing it and adding more information to it can be also helpful for newcomers. We already have some information in it, but probably not enough for people to start easily with it.
Yeah, that is a little bit thin.
That's true. What else? I think making a new release and new ISO should be quite helpful. and working on some content like articles and videos and tutorials and manual as well.
I mean, I have to say that it's actually been quite good, the lack of information and sort of, you know, RDE is a bit niche, so I've had to kind of really research and find out myself, you know, how to do a lot of stuff. So that's been a really good learning curve.
So sometimes I like that RDE is kind of niche project because we don't have, you know, a lot of contributions from all over the world, from all the kind of people who, you know, sending stuff just for sending stuff, or generating a lot of LLM nonsense and sending nonsense pull requests.
Yeah, for sure.
And also people who discover the project usually have quite good way of thinking, like very systematic and very careful, and they can dive into the stuff. So
Exactly.
it's very cool to have such educated community. It's a bit of, you know, kind of gatekeeping, so not all the people can come and easily start using it. But on the other side, yeah, we have quite a cool community.
Yeah, it's actually a good spam filter.
Yeah, yeah.
In a way. Yeah.
That's true. Okay, I think we discussed the primary topics that we voted for, and we already at the point of 1.5 hours into the call. The recording is probably a bit shorter than this, probably around an hour. I would like to thank you everyone who joined and for all the input and discussion. We will have a few minutes after I finish the recording to continue our private discussions. And thank you everyone who watching it in the recording, and see you in a bit.